Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to Mental Health Mondays. I am so excited and thrilled to bring to you this content on mental health. This is a much needed conversation. Over the last few years, particularly during the pandemic, discussing mental health and emotional well being has become a popularized and emphasized topic. But there are still some communities, minority communities, for whom mental health remains an untapped or unfamiliar area in their worlds or their personal lives. Now, of course, there are some historical details behind why minorities have not typically sought out counseling. Still, the point is that mental health resources are increasingly available, and I desire that all communities find healing through these resources. So, let me give you some examples of the need for increased mental health awareness and understanding in minority communities. One, I have been practicing therapy in the state of Tennessee since 2013. And in that time, approximately 90% of my clients have been of the majority population, white or white passing. Also, as a fluent bilingual therapist, 95% of my clients are hearing, again, the majority population. So, for Mental Health Mondays, my desire, first and foremost, is to make my content accessible to the deaf community. However, I also want the hearing community, communities of color, and others to also benefit from mental health content. So, I will strive to have voice interpreting and or ASL interpreting with all of my content in addition to captioning on pre-recorded information. So for tonight's broadcast, I have pre-recorded my voice and I'm signing what I'm saying because I'm not too fond of signing and speaking at the same time. Some nights we will have hearing speakers and live sign language interpreters. Other nights we'll have deaf speakers with live voice interpreters. So I'll mix it up because the most important thing is to get the information out and increase awareness. So, to recap, the purpose of Mental Health Mondays is to increase awareness, understanding, and normalizing mental health topics and discussions, and to reach more people in minority communities. This is why I am launching Mental Health Mondays, and I will have other upcoming programs and mental health opportunities. So before we dig deeper into tonight's topic, I would like to first start with introducing myself. I am Dr. Angela Scruggs. I am a licensed professional counselor with a mental health specialization here in the state of Tennessee. I am also a nationally certified interpreter and a qualified mental health interpreter. I have a PhD in psychology and counseling and a master's in marriage and family counseling. And I can only provide counseling in the state of Tennessee, so just want to throw that out there. But in short, my passion is just to help people. If you want to know more about me, though, you can go to my website or the Facebook page and get some more of those details. Because now, let's get into what we're going to talk about tonight. So, I want to start with two important topics. One, what is mental health? And two, let's just go ahead and normalize mental health. Let's start with the latter. What do I mean by normalizing mental health? Well, to normalize something means to make it normal. In other words, to make what some people view as abnormal become seen as normal. To help others, to help us all see that this thing we call mental health issues is a shared experience. How many times have you thought that you were the only one going through a particular thing? How many times have you felt alone? that nobody else understood what you were going through. If that has been you, come on, go ahead, raise your hand in the comments, or better yet, put the face palm emoji in the comments like, that's me. All of us have been through that at some point in our lives. Often, people think that they are the only ones dealing with mental health issues or just life issues such as depression or anxiety. But on the contrary, my friends, everybody deals with some level of mood disturbance at some point in their life. Our experiences may differ in the specifics of our situation, but emotional turmoil, the negative thought cycles we find ourselves caught up in, such as having moments of feeling down, feeling super nervous or anxious, or maybe just wanting to disappear, all of us can relate. Now, if you can't relate, let me tell you like the old folks say, keep on living, baby, because it will come knocking at your door. Look, it is important for you to know that you are not alone. If you struggle with any level of sadness, fear, worry, anger, guess what? You are normal. There's no need to feel any type of shame or embarrassment. No need to hide. There is no healing in hiding. Instead, find someone with whom you can be open and honest and vulnerable with to get the help and, frankly, get the love you need. Don't go through your struggles alone. Now, I know those of you in the minority community, often the challenge with going to therapy is that there's a lack of representation, a lack of counselors who look like us and or who can relate to us in meaningful ways from our cultural stance as well as from the linguistic perspective. We want someone we can just talk with and not feel like we have to code switch just to be understood. And for people in the deaf community, you want to have someone that you can just communicate with directly, one-on-one, in conversation without having a third party, an interpreter present. So I get it. I get that these ideal scenarios are not always available. They're not always possible. But I want to encourage you, if you need therapy and can't find someone in your area to fit exactly what you're looking for, don't give up. Either go ahead and connect with a therapist in your area until you can find someone who meets your cultural and language needs, or reach out to some of these online counseling options. Now, I want to say that any help is better than no help, but that's a lie. But I will say that any good help is better than no help. The important thing to remember is your life is in your hands. Your life is in your control. We have to fight to be the best person we can be. Yes, the fight is more difficult for some than others, but you are worth the fight. And if you don't fight for yourself, then who will? So fight for yourself because you are depending on you. Now, what is mental health? Let's talk about that. So mental health, to put simply, includes what's happening in our minds, our thoughts, our emotions, our physical things that's happening. So what's happening in our body physiologically, our behavioral habits, things that we can't stop doing, sort of a thing, or even our social interactions, our social well-beings. So basically, anything that affects how we think, feel, and act, that's mental health. Often we think of common mental health topics such as depression and anxiety, but other aspects affect our mental health. Again, remember that what affects how we think, feel, and act, that is mental health. So, can I get a witness out there for you parents? I know parents out there, you know what I'm talking about. Some days you feel like, I got this parenting thing down. And other days you like, whose idea was it to trust me with other humans' lives? Or maybe you have issues with setting healthy boundaries, speaking up for yourself, or the complexities of singleness and dating. Even financial health affects how we think, feel, and act. Or let me see the married couples out there. Go ahead, raise your hand in the comments, because you know how you and your spouse affect each other, sometimes in a positive way and a not so positive way in other times. And so for those of you out there who are engaged, it's important that you assess your individual mental health, because married people will tell you that that will impact the overall health of your marriage. And let me see, who deals with self-esteem issues or have not figured out how to have healthy self-care habits? These are all different aspects of what is encompassed in mental health. As you can see, mental health is a vital part of every stage of life, from childhood to adolescence through adulthood. It's essential to improve your mental health so you can better determine how to handle stress, how to relate to others, how to make good choices. And one that we often forget is just how to have a better relationship with self. So, I hope that you will continue to join me and keep your eye out for Mental Health Mondays. Whoop, whoop. Please let me know some topics that you want to know more about. We will address all of the above, but there are more layers to uncover. So I want to just thank you all for watching tonight, and let's get better together. Bye.